Disclaimer: this is not a definitive history of the core toy line. Since this is a budget line, there are many aspects of this toy line that have not been documented, have not yet been revealed, discovered, or just plain lost to time. If I miss something or get it wrong, I apologize in advance. I have done a lot of research throughout the years just to get to this point. Enjoy the video. G.I. Joe, a real American hero, is a toy line that was released in 1982 to revive the G.I. Joe of the 1960s, but in a smaller scale. Needless to say that it was a huge hit. Soon, other companies wanted their piece of the 3 3/4 inch pie. Although the G.I. Joe, a real American hero team was not the first to work in this scale, nor were they the first to work with O-ring figures. O-ring figures are action figures that have a thick rubber band or O-ring that is used to hold the torso and legs of a figure together, also giving them waist movement. In 1986, Lennart Toys decided to produce their own military men to coincide with the real American heroes. By 1986, G.I. Joe had changed their figures from looking like military soldiers and a commando all in black to tastefully colorful characters. Lennart Toys took inspiration from this and produced their own original 12 figures. Junkyard, Gunner O'Grady, Large Sarge, Dragon Han, Shark, Hammer, Tony Tanner, Boomerang Billy, John Eagle, Hiro Yamada, Flash Fire, and of course, who could forget, Whispering Willie. There are 3 vehicles in the Gung-Ho line: Gung-Ho Tactical Tank, Gung-Ho Assault Boat, and the motorized Gung-Ho One-Man Assault Craft. The figures followed the G.I. Joe model pretty solidly. Aside from the shoulders just being plugged into the side of the torso without the help of shoulder sculpting on the torso to make them look seamless, the figures are pretty high quality for being quote-unquote knockoffs or rip-offs. They have ball-jointed necks, swivel and hinge shoulders, swivel biceps, bend at the elbows, O-ring waist, the legs move at the hip, and they bend at the knees. The accessories are very well sculpted as well and rival most G.I. Joe accessories. The line would be called Gung-Ho International Security Force. The card backs were primarily in blue. The Gung-Ho logo would be in chrome, and to the right of the figure would be a painting of the character with bars of yellow, orange, and red radiating from the character. There are 2 different Gung-Ho card backs. One is just blank. The other will have a picture and the dossier of the figure. The artwork of the Gung-Ho figures look a little bit different. For some of these, they look a little unfinished, but they're facing forward. Others are taken straight from the card art in the front. Dragon Han is probably the most unfinished of the group. Lennart's Gung-Ho was released in January 1987. Hasbro released the G.I. Joe figure Gung-Ho in 1983. By the time Lennart's Gung-Ho was released, he had been off the shelves for a while. But in 1987, Hasbro released the second version of the character Gung-Ho in full dress uniform, and in 1988, Lennart would get hit with a lawsuit from Hasbro. The term Gung-Ho had been used by the US Marines in World War II. This means that if someone is gung-ho, they are very eager or they are a go-getter of something. This was used as a characteristic of the figure Gung-Ho since he was also a Marine in the G.I. Joe universe. Furthermore, both G.I. Joe and Gung-Ho the toy line were 3 3/4 military figures sold in many of the same stores to the same demographic. So, a customer could see Gung-Ho on the Leonard figures and assume it was the same as the Hasbro figure. Leonard Toys had to give up the name Gung-Ho, International Security Force. So, what would be the name for the military toy line now?